fresh basil as well, but fresh herbs you can only use it at the end, maybe even after I turn the pot off. Okay, but dry I can use it in the initial stages because this doesn't overcook, whereas the fresh one overcooks. Okay, so give it a good stir. So that's the main difference between saute and sweat. See that? The onions, it's tried to lose its color and it's wet, and you can see the flavor from the onion sweating out. Okay, so that's the sweating and saute. Do you understand, Boris?
Yes.
Sauteing is if you have too much color in the onion becomes golden brown. Okay? So sweating is, that's why I told you. Right, yes, you're definitely losing focus. Can you fill half water and rinse, like take all that and put it back here?
Okay. Should I rinse it or
not rinse it, just collect the water and collect the tomatoes. 1 tablespoon of sugar. That will help the acidity, the sourness in the tomatoes go away. Okay, and then simmer it. I think we need to add a bit more water. Stir in between. Make sure the fire is low. Okay, so that it doesn't burn. And then okay, the color could go a bit more darker once it's reduced. Okay, the key is the water. Okay, you're adding a lot of water and then you're reducing back. So what happens is it cooks and it takes off all the acidity, all the acidic flavor in the tomatoes. That's the only thing. Very important. Okay, good Napoli sauce is good, well reduced sauce. Okay, so that's done. So next we have a pot here. Okay, so this pot I'm going to use it for pork steaks and also use it for the bain marie for my Hollandaise sauce. Is my clarified butter ready? Yeah, just just pour it. Yes, milk, and that's the clarified butter. I'm going to use this, but not this. Okay, so one you can put in a pot. Okay, usually what I do is I microwave it. Okay, put the butter in it and microwave it so it's ready, and then you leave it to settle. Right, I can't use it straight away. When I leave it to settle, the buttermilk and the but this is not ghee. Right, I did this once at home and I got shouting from my wife, you wasted the butter. Right, what ghee is, so she puts the whole thing in the pot and she simmers and reduces and cooks for about 2 hours. So what happens is all the buttermilk evaporates and the rest sticks to the pot. So that is 100% we make sure there's no buttermilk whatsoever. Right, so that's why we keep cooking and reducing until all the buttermilk either sticks and burns to the pot and also or evaporates. Even if I split now, even there might be 2 to 3% of buttermilk in the clarified butter. What happens that I cannot keep it outside, as when I keep it outside that starts to go off. Okay, so yeah, this is a clarified butter, but this is not ghee. For ghee it has to be 100% fat. Okay, so what happens is when I see through, I can see the bottom. That's how ghee is when it's warmed up. Okay, but you see this is a bit cloudy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if I keep cooking it, so what happens is we put the butter in the pot, we let it simmer for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then later on when I see it is like clear, like oil, all right? And that's when we turn it off, right? And then that ghee can go up to 400 degrees and not burn. You know what I mean? When I put oil in the hot pan, it just starts to smoke, right? When I put butter in a medium hot pan, it starts to burn, okay? But when I was cooking fish and I want crispy skin, I used to use clarified butter. Okay, why? I used to keep the pot very, very hot. I used to put ghee and the pot doesn't burn. The fish doesn't burn, okay? And I used to put the skin side fish on the pan pan is soaring hot, and I put the skin on the pan, what happens? And the skin becomes crispy instantly. Okay, but if I use oil, it burns, it smokes. You know how it smokes when it's too hot? So that doesn't happen with ghee. All right, ghee can be used for deep frying as well, but not in here. In India, they use deep frying for sweets and stuff. All right. So over here, this is my simplest way of making a hollandaise. Okay, my most preferred way as well, because it's very quick. Okay, so I put 8, similar to my mayonnaise recipe. Okay, it's about 8 egg yolks per 1 liter of 1 liter of clarified butter. Okay, and then a dash of white wine vinegar or vinegar, any sort. Okay. Just that is about 1 tablespoon. Okay, and then I ask for probe thermometer. Who has probe thermometer? Come on. Okay, if I touch this and this is hot, it's ready to use. Okay, usually in this method I use hot butter. Okay, not warmer butter. Whereas in the bain marie, I don't. So this is cooled down as well. Okay, so yep. Again, with the Hollandaise sauce, we're not cooking the eggs. Right, we only tampering the eggs. So this is 81 and above. So if it's more than 80 degrees, it's good. Okay, so it's really hot, 80 degrees hot. 80 degree water is really, really hot. All right, so turn it on, and then you just slightly pour it as you do the mayonnaise. Okay. Loosen up the sauce. Again, Hollandaise sauce is not this thick. Okay. Can I have some salt? Again, this sauce does not have not add any flavor to it, so I can add some good decent amount of salt. Okay, that's a good texture. And I keep it somewhere warm. Okay, the next method is the bain marie method. Can I have one more pot like that? Sanjeevan,
Yes, sir.
from this side, please. I know you lost your voice, but yeah. Okay, a dash of champagne vinegar, some sort of vinegar, tea towel. Okay, hold, and then so that's bain marie. So what happens is the steam hits the bowl, and the bowl is warm. Okay, When you're doing this method, I don't have to worry about the temperature of the butter because the ball's gonna be warm. Okay, so that could be, obviously this can't go very cold because when it goes cold, it becomes firm. Okay, this I don't have to worry about the temperature. Okay, start mixing. Quick. All right, you need to make sure the fire doesn't come out and hit the ball. Okay, always low. All right, and then take it out, put it over here. So you might have to maintain the temperature because this butter is not cold at this stage. Okay, it's still hot. It's still about 70 degrees. Okay. So you just have to go back and forth with your experience. Okay. If Sanjeevan had to keep on continuing, what would have happened because the butter is too hot and the bain marie is hot as well, the eggs would split. Okay, it's very easy because I know it's gonna split. I asked him to take it out. If you just don't do that, the Hollandaise, you lose your Hollandaise. Okay, back there. So those are the decisions you need to take to get a good sauce. Okay, if I just keep on going with the butter would have split. Take it out. Okay. Keep going. Vinegar. Okay. Don't put too much vinegar so that the water becomes. You can taste vinegar in the eggs. Okay. A good poached eggs. You should not do vinegar in the eggs. Okay. And some salt. This is optional. Okay. If you add salt, your eggs would be salty, okay? If you not then the eggs won't have any flavor, then you'll have to add some salt later, okay? Pan, over here, please.